Welcome to another episode of Excel, Learning the Basics. My name is Jerry Colbert, and in this week's episode, we're going to learn all about workbooks. Coming up next. So here we are within Excel for Mac, and I'm not going to go into too much detail concerning workbooks, but I do want to kind of give you all a general idea of why we have different types of workbooks and how you can kind of utilize that in your spreadsheets when you have, I guess you could say, moved up into the advanced territory of life. But in any case, here you see I have Excel opened up. And up here at the top, you see it says Workbook 1. So if there's a Workbook 1, there must be a Workbook 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5. Well, sort of. You see, when you create your new spreadsheet here in Excel, it will open you up what is called a workbook. Now, this workbook can contain many sheets, and if you have watched any of my other episodes, you will have known what sheets are. So a workbook can contain many sheets, and you can have many workbooks that you are linking together with different formulas if you so desire. But to be honest with you, most people only use one workbook, and that workbook would be associated whenever you go to, let's say, save a file. So let's say I'm going to save it as a workbook. So that's basically the Excel program or the Excel file that you wanted to do. So let's say I was creating this for a budget. So my workbook would be the budget workbook. Now I could have budget workbook 1, I could have budget workbook 2, however I want to have it if I am trying to create many workbooks. But basically, a workbook is just an Excel file, meaning it's just one file that you have that contains all of your worksheets or your spreadsheets inside that one workbook. So for instance, when I hit save here on this budget to my desktop, and let's go ahead and minimize that. And I'll drag this over here so you can kind of see that this is what it saves it as. So this file for this spreadsheet is a workbook. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not some sort of mystical thing. It's just a workbook. It's just your file for that Excel spreadsheet that you are creating for whatever it is you want. Whether that's a budget or what have you, it's just called a workbook. And you can have several different types of workbooks if you so desire, whatever it is that you are actually looking to create. Now, when you go, you can always, up here at the top, you can create a new workbook or you can create new from template. But whether you create a new workbook or a new from template, both of these are technically workbooks because they're all a encompassing file for that spreadsheet that you're creating. So for instance, if I clicked on new from template, and you see here you have all of these different kinds of templates that you can utilize to create yourself a workbook, whatever it is that you're trying to create. Because when you create an Excel workbook from scratch, you can create from scratch these other workbooks if you know how to create spreadsheets. But they do give you templates to utilize so you can not have to start from ground zero and you can have stuff that's already done. So for instance, if I chose to do this to-do list here, I can hit choose and it opens me up a new workbook. And how do I know this? Because if you look here at the top, you see it says workbook 2. So this is also a workbook. So that's basically all workbooks are. Now, later on in some of these episodes, I might be talking about, creating a new workbook or creating a new spreadsheet? And if so, this is what I'm basically talking about. You can create a new workbook or new spreadsheet any which way, and that terminology is interchangeable within this lessons that I'm going to be showing you all on Excel. But like I say, this is just going to be a short episode today. I just wanted to kind of give you all a brief idea about workbooks. I've had a few people ask me, well, what's this workbook thing? And they seem to think it was something, magical or whatever, but it's not really. It's just, that's all it is a workbook. It's just a file of Excel, and that's just what they call it, a workbook. They could have called it a spreadsheet, but they called it a workbook, and so there you go. So, if you like this episode, please click on the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to it, if you want to see more of these types of videos. And without further ado, I want to wish you all an awesome day, and let's become more productive. Thank you.